August 31st, 2017.
All right.
Now, that's a big day. When you woke up that morning, could you ever have envisioned what was about to unfold that day and then those like 60 or 61 days that followed, wind up in Houston?
Wanted to officially announce the acquisition of Justin Verlander to the Houston Astros.
And you win the World Series.
Here's a ground ball right side, could do it. The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
To be honest, no. I had kind of, that morning, woke up and, I had been in conversation with Al Avila, our general manager, and I knew that it looked like the prospects of me getting traded were pretty slim, and I was okay with that. We hadn't traded away any of our guys with the Tigers yet, and I was kind of still holding out hope that we could be good the next year. And earlier that morning, following Twitter, I see that we had traded Justin Upton. So that to me was, a huge red flag, kind of abandoned ship. And so I called Al and said, hey, what's going on? What are my prospects? What's happening? And he said, Justin, to be honest, it doesn't look like there's anything that's going to happen. So for me, mentally, I kind of shut down and just kind of was like, okay, well, let's finish out the season here and see what happens, and try to finish strong.
Swing and a miss, strike three.
So that leads to later that night, just go out to dinner, kind of business as usual, a late dinner. And sure enough, I hadn't heard anything all day. Sure enough, my phone rings, and it was Al saying, you've been traded to the Houston Astros. You need to decide whether you want to waive your no-trade clause. And that really caught me off guard, because I had thought that nothing was going to happen.
What time was that?
11:25-ish, 11:20.
All right, so this deal got approved with like 15
Seconds
to go.
Yeah.
So what was that like, those last 35 minutes as you tried to decide?
It was a whirlwind. It was probably one of the most hectic, trying, emotional times in my life, especially in my career. It was a very tough spot to be in. I'm someone who likes to gather a lot of information before I make a decision. I just like to have. I like to feel like I have all of the pieces of the puzzle put together before I say yay or nay to anything. And so leading up to that, especially with having been told that the prospects look slim, I had really not had it in my mind, and I didn't think I should have it in my mind. I thought thinking about being traded would not allow me to do the best I could for the Tigers, which I was still representing the Detroit Tigers. So I was trying not to think about it, and never had I thought I would only have a short window to really come to a decision. I had thought I would at least have a 24-hour period or something. So, now here I am in kind of a panic,
I bet.
really, and so I just start making phone calls. I call my agent, I call everybody I can to try to gather information on Houston.
High fly ball, right field, gone! Walk it off, George Springer!
I knew they were really good, but I hadn't really dug into it. How do I fit in? Besides that, it's like, oh my gosh, they just had a hurricane 2 days ago.
Right.
What's the city like? They're playing in Tampa Bay. They can't even get back home. Is the stadium okay? Are we ever going to be able to play back at home? Am I going to be able to find a place to live? I mean, all this stuff running through my head, honestly went back and forth multiple times. I think when it came to the baseball decision, it was kind of easy. If I were to take the emotion out of it and step back, it was, like I said, it was kind of a red flag when J-Up got traded. And, the opportunity to go to a championship caliber team seems easy, but with all of the history that I had there, my legacy as a Tiger comes into effect. I'm thinking about that, thinking about everything, trying to decipher whether I should say yes or no. And finally, it just came to a point where I kind of just came to a realization and said, screw it, I'm going to Houston. And my wife was there, and she has my back. And she's like, hell yeah. And that was, that was the decision. So, really, once the decision was made, it was late. And late enough to the point where, in the building we were in, we were on the 4th story, and the elevator's kind of slow, like notoriously slow in this building. So we went to press the elevator button. The elevator wasn't on our floor. We went sprinting down the stairs. Al Avila had some of the team's representatives downstairs so I could sign the paperwork.
Stalking you.
They were yeah. So they were down there waiting, and we didn't have time to wait for the elevator. We went sprinting down the stairs.
Oh my God.
And I'm on the phone at the last second trying to negotiate getting my my option kicked off. I didn't have time to go through my agent, so I'm doing the negotiating on the phone while we're running downstairs, and
that's insane.
Yeah, if with what ensued, obviously it was storybook, but I mean, that decision in that moment in time with that short of time period was extremely difficult.